My name is Zuleyha. Episode 1, Summary. Yilmaz is a hard-working, quiet young man who works as a car mechanic at his uncle Ayhan's company who loves him like a son. Zuleyha is a beautiful young woman who is a seamstress at a fashion house in Istanbul. She lives with Veli, her half-brother, and his wife. Yilmaz and Zuleyha were in love and wanted to get married.
Veli was a guy who liked gambling, and because of that he had borrowed a lot of money from a guy named Nasi. Since he had no money to pay, he agreed to sell Zuleyha to Nasi to clear all his debt. Yilmaz found out and went to save her, but Nasi attacked him with a gun and Yilmaz accidentally killed him. Yilmaz had to flee and Zuleyha followed him. Yilmaz's boss had given him a sum of money so that he could make fake documents and have something to live on until they settled down somewhere. They traveled by train and being tired fell asleep and all their money was stolen. On the same train, Demir, a handsome, well-dressed man, sees from the window Zuleyha who had gotten off at a station to drink water. He is impressed by her beauty but someone distracts him and he loses sight of her. Later he tries to find her but she has disappeared. Zuleyha and Yilmaz went down to Adana and started looking for work to survive. Yilmaz learned that Gaffer, his army friend, was working as a butler at the biggest farm in that land, the Yaman farm, and they decided to go look for him. Gaffer was glad to see his old companion, and when he asked him who Zuleyha was, she told him that she was his sister, as they had heard from the maid that the mistress of the house did not accept unmarried couples on her domain. The owner of the farm is actually Demir, the guy on the train. Every day he traverses the vast grounds in his personal plane. He is surprised to see Zuleyha at Gaffer's house and asks his mother to find out who the two newcomers are. Yilmaz and Zuleyha are hired to work in the fields and given poor housing together with other farm workers. Gaffer is not happy to hear that they are staying. He knows that Yilmaz is a skilled mechanic and feels threatened by his presence. He is afraid that Demir will like him. Hunker, Demir's mother, talks to Yilmaz and according to him, he seems to be an honest man. Then Hunker calls Zuleyha and after learning that she studied tailoring, hires her as a maid in the house. Because of this the other maids are jealous of her. Meanwhile, in Istanbul, Nasi's brother Hüseyin is looking for Yilmaz and Zuleyha. He arrives in Adana and inquires about the surrounding farms, and someone directs him to the Yaman farm. Gaffer is not a fair worker and steals from his patrons and employees. The next day, Demir has problems with the aircraft's engine. Yilmaz, who works in the field, listens to the aircraft engine and solves the problem. Demir is impressed by his knowledge of engines and hires him as a mechanic and personal driver, causing Gaffer further jealousy. Hunker is worried that her son's secret will get out as she has heard that his ex-wife has remarried and is pregnant. Everyone knew that Demir broke up with her because he couldn't have children, but in fact he is barren. Hunker wants at all costs to have a grandson, otherwise all the wealth will be inherited by a relative of her husband. Hunker's mother suffers from dementia and leaves the house at night and wanders. The workers all go to look for her. Hunker also goes and reaches a place where Yilmaz and Zuleyha are secretly meeting and sees them hugging and realizes that they are not brothers.